A very good day to my students of class 11 science. Welcome to the video lesson 3 class 11 science chemistry chapter equilibrium. I have not completed the chapter. Only I have completed the first part of the chapter, that is chemical equilibrium. Ionic equilibrium is yet to be explained to you all. But before moving on to the ionic equilibrium portion of the chapter, I would like to discuss some important concept based questions and numericals on whatever I have completed in this chapter. So uh, let us discuss some questions now. Question number one. Question number one. What what is the effect? What is the effect on the value of equilibrium constant constant on adding catalyst? This is the question. So this is something which I've discussed already. Effect on the value of equilibrium constants. What are the factors affecting equilibrium constants? So catalyst, addition of catalyst is also a factor. So answer is no effect. There is no effect. The addition of catalyst does not affect the value of equilibrium constant. Okay. Next, number two. Number two. What is the effect of increasing pressure on the equilibrium or the reaction over here, nitrogen plus hydrogen giving ammonia. This is the Haber's process, gas heat. So we already know that in the Haber's process the pressure range is in the value of 200 to 900 atmospheric pressure. So the question is asking what is the effect of increasing pressure on the equilibrium? Okay. The answer, equilibrium will shift in the forward direction forming more ammonia. So this is the second question and the second answer. What is the effect of increasing pressure on the equilibrium of the reversible reaction between nitrogen and hydrogen to produce ammonia gas? Okay. It is in a state of homogeneous equilibrium. So here equilibrium will shift in the forward direction forming more ammonia gas. Okay. Let us move to the next question. Question number 3. What happens to the dissociation of phosphorus pentachloride in a closed vessel if helium gas is introduced into it at the same temperature, and why? So dissociation of phosphorus pentachloride. What happens if helium gas or noble gas, inert gas, is put into a gas jar at the same temperature, and why? Now keep in mind, helium gas, it is an inert gas. Okay. And addition of inert gas does not does not add to the volume in the container. So the answer will be there is no effect. There is no effect. There is no effect on the dissociation. On the dissociation. On the dissociation of phosphorus pentachloride as the volume is constant. Okay, this is question number 3 and its answer. Now moving to the next question, question number 4. Write the expression write the expression for the for the relationship relationship between Kp and Kc. This is something which I have done. Derivation is also done. So here Kp is equal to Kc RT to the power of delta N, where Kp is equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure, Kc is equilibrium constant in terms of concentration, moles per liter, noble gas constant, temperature. Delta N means it is the difference between the sum of the products minus sum of the reactants. Okay, that is question number 4. Now let us move to the next question. Question number 5. Question number 5. Look at question number 5. For the following equilibrium, Kc is equal to 6.3 into 10 power 14 at 500 Kelvin. Okay. Nitrogen monoxide gas plus ozone gas. It is giving reversibly nitrogen dioxide gas and oxygen gas. It is at equilibrium. Okay. The value of Kc is given. Now the question says, what will be the value of equilibrium constant for the reverse reaction? This is the Kc for the forward direction, no? Onward reaction. The question is saying, what will be the value of equilibrium constant for the reverse reaction? So the answer is like this. For the reverse reaction, I write Kc dash is equal to 1 by Kc. Remember this. This Kc is for the onward reaction. So whenever they ask us to find the value of Kc for the reverse reaction, it is the reciprocal. Remember that. So here I will have 1 by 6.3 into 10 to the power of 14, which will give me 1.59 into 10 to the power of minus 15. The value is very less. The value is very less. So this is the value for the equilibrium for the reverse reaction. The value of Kc for the reverse reaction. Okay. This calculation can be done by using a scientific calculator. 1 divided by 6.3 you get 1.59, and 1 by 10 is 10 to the 14, you take it up over there. It becomes 10 power minus 14, and then work with the decimal. Okay, you'll get 1.59 10 power minus 15. That is number 5. Now moving to number 6. Question number 6. Now look at question number 6. If the value of Kc for the reaction H2 plus I2 gives twice Hi, if the value of Kc is 50, what would be the value of Kc for the reaction given below? The same reaction, but its stoichiometric coefficients are reduced to half. This becomes half H2, this becomes half I2, and this becomes 1. Okay, so that means I'm reducing the entire thing. Okay, so this is 2 divided by 2 is 1, over here 1 divided by 2 is half, 1 by 2 is half. So for this reaction, the second reaction, the Kc becomes root under 50, or I can say 50 raised to the power of half. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, now let us go to the next question. Question number 7. Look at question number 7 now. There is a reaction whose equilibrium constant is given at 2 different temperatures. The equilibrium constant of a reaction is 2 into 10 power minus 3 at 25 degrees Celsius, and it is 2 into 10 power minus 2. It is increasing. The value of Kc is increasing at a higher temperature. Is the reaction exothermic or endothermic? Okay. So how will you write the answer? Here it is the equilibrium constant. This is a question based on the factors affecting equilibrium constant. Okay. Here the equilibrium constant is increasing. You can see 2 into 10 power minus 3 is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 2. So it is increasing when the temperature is also increasing. So here of course it has to be an endothermic reaction because there is absorption of heat. So here you have to write the answer in this manner. As as the magnitude as the magnitude of equilibrium constant as the magnitude of equilibrium constant as the magnitude of equilibrium constant has increased with temperature the reaction is endothermic. Okay, that is number 7. Then go to number 8. Question number 8. Now look at question number 8. What does the equilibrium constant Kc less than 1 indicate? Kc is less than 1. What does this indicate? Okay. The value of Kc less than 1 indicates that the reaction does not proceed much in the forward direction. Okay. So you write the answer. It indicates that the reaction does not proceed much in the forward direction. That is number 8. Okay. Now let us go to the next question. That is question number 9. Question number 9. Okay. Question number 9. Predict which of the following reaction will have appreciable concentration of reactants and products. First one, chlorine gas. It is in equilibrium with chlorine atoms. The Kc for this reaction is 5 into 10 power minus 39. It's very less, which means in this equilibrium, the concentration of chlorine molecule gas is very high. The reaction does not go much farther in the forward direction. The second reaction, Kc is it's high. It's very high. This one is very less. This one is very high. So in this case, when chlorine reacting with hydrogen monoxide, it is forming twice NaCl. The reaction goes almost, we can say, to completion. Okay. And in the third case, when chlorine gas is reacting with nitrogen dioxide gas, it is forming twice NO2Cl. The Kc for this reaction is 1.8. It is not very high, not very low. Okay. So now we can say that for this, the answer will be reaction C. Reaction C will have reactants and products. Reaction C will have reactants and products in comparable amounts in comparable amounts as Kc is neither too high too high nor very low nor very low. This is question number 9. So if it is very low, that means the reaction does not proceed in the forward direction. That means here the reactant is there, product is very less. If it is very very high, the reactants react almost completely to form the products. The reaction goes in the forward direction to a large extent. And if it is not very high or not very low, then we'll have comparable amounts of the reactant and the products which are in equilibrium. Okay, that is question number 9. Now, next question number 10. Question number 10. What will be now look at this question. It is another important conceptual question. What will be the units of Kp for the gaseous equilibrium given below? N2G plus 3S2G, it is forming twice NH3. Equilibrium constant in terms of pressures. So for this reaction, if you write down Kp, it becomes concentration, partial pressure of NH3 square divided by partial pressure of N2 into partial pressure of H2 cube. Here you see, here it is partial pressure in terms of atmosphere, it is square, no, because there is 2 over here, atmosphere square divided by atmosphere for nitrogen, and for hydrogen it is atmosphere cube. Okay, so here if you cancel, this is atmosphere square, and it is to the power of 4, so it becomes atmosphere square, down it is atmosphere to the power of 4. 3 plus 1 is 4, so if you cancel, it becomes 1 by atmosphere to the power of 2, so this goes up, becomes atmosphere to the power of minus 2. That is the answer. So the unit of Kp is atmosphere to the power of minus 2. Okay, that is question number 10. Have a look at it, and this is how you have to show the working if it is asked. Otherwise you can do this mentally as well. Okay, that is question number 10. Now moving to the next question, question number 11. Now look at question number 11. For an equilibrium reaction, the rate constants for the forward and reverse reaction are given. For the forward reaction, it is 2.38 into 10 power minus 4, and for the reverse reaction, it is 8.15 into 10 power minus 15 respectively. So the question is saying, calculate the equilibrium constant for the reaction. So they are telling us to find out Kc. What is Kc for the above reaction? So you must be remembering the formula. Kc is equal to Kf, equilibrium constant, rate constant for the forward reaction, divided by rate constant of the reverse reaction or the backward reaction. So just put the values of Kf and Kr in this formula. Kf is 2.38 38 into 10 to the power of minus 4, and Kr is 8.15 into 10 to the power of minus 5. Okay, so on simplification, 10 to the power of minus 4, if this goes up, it becomes 10 only, and 2.3 divided 8.15. If you do that, ultimately your answer will come to 2.92. Okay, the answer is 2.92. That is how you solve this sum. Okay, so whenever the rate constants for the forward and reverse reactions are given and they tell us to find the value of equilibrium constant, so you must use this formula. Okay, Kc is equal to Kf by Kr. That is number 11. Okay, now let us go to the next question, that is question number 12. Now the question is like this: what happens to the equilibrium constant if temperature is increased? Okay, so for this, let me elaborate the answer. Please keep in mind point number 1. For exothermic reaction, for exothermic reactions, please keep in mind delta H, the change in enthalpy, is negative. Okay, for exothermic reactions, delta H is negative. So in this case of exothermic reaction, when delta H is negative, the equilibrium constant K decreases with rise in temperature. This point to remember. For exothermic reaction, delta H is negative. Remember this sign convention for enthalpy, change in enthalpy, heat content, Okay, it is negative for exothermic reaction. Whenever there is heat which is given out, delta H you have to write negative, sign convention. The equilibrium constant K decreases with rise in temperature. Okay. Point number 2, for here the rise in temperature, so our answer is this only, but I am giving the other part of the answer also. For endothermic reactions, change in enthalpy will be positive. Okay, delta H is positive. It is absorbed, so positive. Okay, the equilibrium constant K increases with rise in temperature. So these are the two situations for equilibrium constant. For exothermic, it is different. For endothermic, it is different. Okay, it is more important over here to remember the sign convention. Okay, now that is question number 12. Let us go to the next question, question number 13. Now, question number 13. Depict the effect of addition of hydrogen, addition of methanol, removal of carbon monoxide, and removal of ethanol on the equilibrium of the reaction given below. So we have to tell what happens on the equilibrium of the reaction. So first one is addition of hydrogen. If we add hydrogen over here, the reaction will go in the forward direction. The equilibrium will shift in the forward direction. Okay. If we add methanol to this reaction, which is at equilibrium, if we add the product over here, the reaction will proceed, equilibrium will shift in the backward direction. Backward direction. Third one is removal of carbon monoxide. If we remove carbon monoxide, again the equilibrium will shift in the backward direction. And last one, removal of methanol. If this is removed from the reaction mixture, the product, so the equilibrium will shift in the forward direction. So this is a question based on the Le-Chatelier's principle. Okay. Now let us go to the next question. Question number 14. Now we'll do some simple problems from this chapter based on equilibrium constant. Okay. Now the solution for this number 14. Find out the value of Kc for the following reactions at equilibrium. Calcium carbonate solid. It is decomposing to give calcium oxide solid and carbon dioxide gas. The Kp for this reaction is given as 167 at 1073 Kelvin. Okay. Here some values will be given. For example, the value of gas constant will be given. R is equal to, it will be given 0.0831 atmosphere liter, okay, per mole per Kelvin. Okay. And temperature is already given. Temperature is 1073 Kelvin. Kp is given. It's given over here. Okay, you just have to get delta N. Delta N means the difference between the sum of the products and the reactants. Over here, sum of the reactants, number of moles of the reactants is 1 plus 1. 2 minus 1 is, it is coming to 1. So knowing all the values, we can write down the relation between Kp and Kc. Kp is equal to Kc RT to the power of delta N. Now put the values. So Kc, you have to find Kc. So Kc will be equal to Kp divided by RT to the power of delta N. So Kp is 167 divided by R. R value is 0.0831 into T. T temperature is how much? 1073 Kelvin to the power of 1. So upon simplification, we get the value of equilibrium constant in terms of concentration. It is coming to 1.87. Okay. That means at equilibrium, we have comparable amounts of the reactants and the products. Okay. So this is question number 14. Okay. Now let us go to question number 15 now. Question number 15. Question number 15. A sample of hydrogen iodide gas is placed in a flask closed container at a pressure of 0.2 atmosphere. Now at equilibrium, the partial pressure of hydrogen iodide is given as 0.04 atmosphere. What is the Kp for the given equilibrium? We have to find the equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure for this system. Okay. Now to solve this, equation is already there. So what I will do is, it is already balanced. I will write down the data that is given in the question. So I write down initial pressure. It is given 0.2 for HI. So I write 0.2 initial pressure is 0.2 of HI. This will be 0 initially. Now pressure at equilibrium. Pressure at equilibrium. It is given how much? It is given 0.04. So here pressure at equilibrium for hydrogen will be 0.2 minus 0.04 divided by 2. This 2 comes over here. Same thing happens here also for iodine. 0.2 minus 0.04 divided by 2. Okay. Now we can write down the relationship. Therefore, we know Kp is equal to partial pressure of hydrogen into partial pressure of iodine divided by partial pressure of hydrogen iodide square, because stoichiometric coefficient is 2. Okay, please remember this properly, this method. Okay, now this one is 0.16 by 2. 0.16 by 2 is 0. It becomes how much? 0.16 by 2. So it becomes 0.08. Just check. 0.16 divided by 2, it comes to 0.08. That is 0.08. 0.08 into 0.08 divided by 0.04 square over here. So if you simplify this, 0.08 into 0.08, that comes to, it is coming to 0.0064, and 0.04 into 0.04, it is coming to 0.0016. Okay, it will come 40. So the value of Kp for this above reaction, given equilibrium reaction, it is 40. That is the answer, number 15. So this is how you must do like this sum. So always write the equation, okay, and then initial pressure, whatever is given in the question, 0.2 atmosphere is given, and the partial pressure of hydrogen iodide is given at equilibrium. Okay, initially the pressure of hydrogen and iodine is 0. Yes, it's 0. And at equilibrium, the partial pressure of hydrogen becomes this 0.2 minus 0.04 divided by 2. Same thing goes here also, 0.2 minus 0.04 divided by 2. Okay, now this 0.2 minus 0.04 is 16. Okay, and that is divided by 2. So 0.16 by 2 is 0.08. So applying the concept from the law of mass action, P is equal to Kp is equal to partial pressure of hydrogen into partial pressure of iodine divided by partial pressure of HI raised to the power of 2. This raised to the power of 2 because the stoichiometric coefficient of hydrogen iodide after balancing the equation is 2. Okay, that is number 15. Okay, now let us go to the next question, that is question number 16. Okay, number 16, let me write down the question. Now have a look at this question now, question number 16. For the reaction nitrogen gas reacting with 3 hydrogen gas to give 2 volumes of ammonia gas, the partial pressure of nitrogen and hydrogen are given 0.80 and 0.40 atmosphere respectively at equilibrium. The total pressure of the system is 2.80 atmosphere. So the question is, what is Kp, equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure for the above reaction? So for the solution, how to do? Write down the equation. N2G plus 3H2G, reversible arrow, twice NH3G. Okay. Now here the partial pressure of NH3 can be found out because the partial pressure of nitrogen and hydrogen are given. So, and the total pressure of the system is 2.80. So, it can be found out. So, partial pressure of NH3 is 2.80 total pressure minus the sum of the pressures of nitrogen and hydrogen. So, 0.80 plus 0.40. So, upon simplification, we will get 1.60 atm atmosphere. The partial pressure of ammonia is obtained. Okay. Now we apply the law of chemical equilibrium. Law of chemical equilibrium to the above system, and then we get Kp is equal to partial pressure of ammonia. Ammonia stoichiometric coefficient is 2, so raised to the power of 2, divided by partial pressure of nitrogen into partial pressure of hydrogen raised to the power of 3, because the stoichiometric coefficient of hydrogen is 3. Okay. Now put the values over there. Partial pressure of ammonia we have got over here 1.60. So 1.60 to the power of 2 divided by nitrogen, it is 0.80. So 0.80 into hydrogen, it is 0.40. 0.40 to the power of 3. Okay. So if you go ahead and simplify this, so simplify it. 1.60 into 1.60, 1.6, this one comes to 2.56 divided by 0.80 into 0.40 cube, 0.40 into 0.4 into 0.4, this comes to 0.064. Okay. So 2.56 divided by, now 0.064 into 0.80, this comes to 0.0512. 0.0512. Now 2.56 divided by 0.0512. The answer comes to exactly 50. For the above equilibrium, the equilibrium constant at partial pressure is 50. Kp is equal to 50. That is the answer. Okay. For number 16. Okay. So this is how you do the problem given over here, number 16. Okay. Have a look at it carefully. I am waiting for you all to complete the working. So, my dear students, I would like to end this lesson today here only. In my next class, I will do the remaining questions, numericals based on this chapter. Okay, based on this chapter. And then proceed with the ionic equilibrium. That is the second part of this chapter. And then over there also I will be discussing and teaching you how to solve the questions based on ionic equilibrium, where you'll have to find out pH, AC, Kp, buffer solution, common ion effect, okay, all those things. Okay. So for today, please go through this video carefully, and these 16 questions are very, very important questions, conceptual questions in this chapter. Okay, and please revise them carefully and nicely. Thank you. Have a nice day.